Here he comes. Right there, at the entrance. Pulling in right now.
Putting in 2,500 home charging stations. Consumers Energy is also going to put in 2,500. We're going to put in 140 home charging stations. And tonight we're going to talk about the fact that we're going to put in about 345 workstations as well. In fact, right here you see 2 of them. There are actually 18 of them right here on site. Of the 345 we're going to put in, many of those are also going to get their energy from photovoltaic cells, so from the sun, in order to be even greener. So we feel really good about what we're able to do here today.
When you talk about the 345, what kind of locations are you talking about?
Well, we've got the RenCen here. I think you've been to Detroit Hamtramck. We're there, over there. The Tech Center obviously will be a concentrated a site where we'll need a lot of charging stations. Pontiac, the powertrain facility, will have them. Most of our major facilities will have them, but it goes beyond just what General Motors is doing. We've got 1,500 dealers who are also committed to put in charging stations, and the DOE is going to fund another 4,400 across the country. So there's a lot of activity. We feel that the home charging station is the most important. The second most important would be to be able to charge at work.
Tom, will these charging stations also be able to handle
the charging station would be able to handle most any electric vehicle. However, as you saw, I had a smart card, and I think most charging stations will probably issue a card similar to this, where they have a barcode on it, and that's how you'd be able to activate the charging station.
So this would be available for the general consumer who would buy one of these smart cards, or for people who have fleets, or who would the target be?
Well, in our case, for General Motors, all of the people, we're trying to encourage our people to be greener, to buy those. So they would have a charge card. If they worked here at the RenCen, they'd have charge cards. If they worked down at the Tech Center, and they'd be able to pull up at any of our charging stations. They're all interconnected and be able to charge the vehicle.
Kind of encouraging people in workplaces to do that for their employees?
Yes, yeah. We were trying to set a good example by putting in about 345 of them. I think right now I have 133 already put in place, and we're on our way to the 345.
And people can find out where the stations are.
Well, these stations are for General Motors employees, and so they'll be available, like we probably communicated through Socrates. I haven't personally got into that detail, but that should not be a big problem for us to communicate where the charging stations are. But we wanted to show people how important it was. That's why we did 140 already, just in terms of home charging, and we're in the process of putting in all the workplace charging.
Why is it important to do this?
Well, we're going to sell, we have like launch locations for this, and we have 600 dealers right now in the launch locations that are going to put in charging stations, but we know that the cars can go all over the country. They're extended range electric vehicles, so if you want to drive from here to San Francisco, no problem. We wanted to make sure that you could get your cars serviced across the country. So another 900 dealers will be service centers right from the get-go to be able to service, and they have committed to have charging stations as well.
Your on-sale target dates?
What?
Are there on-sale dates?
Not yet. No, the next major thing that would happen would be our launch, where you start your regular production. After that, you have something called ship to commerce, where we build some and we've checked them and the quality's right. And that's the one thing we're very tough on in General Motors. Nothing leaves unless we feel it's the world's best. So once it gets to be a position where we're comfortable we got the world's best, then we start to ship them out.
So when will the first customer take delivery on the first bolt?
Whenever it goes through that process. I can't give you a date. It's whenever we complete that process.
This month, next month, January?
I would hope it would not have to take into January.
Tom, do you have a view on the controversy about whether it's a hybrid or a plug-in, or how you categorize it from the General Motors view?
Yeah, we would categorize it as an extended range electric vehicle. When you're running off of the battery itself, say you're at full charge and you're running it down, depleting it to 20%, it obviously runs all low speed off the traction motor, the one motor, getting the energy from the battery and converting it to tractive effort. Once you get to higher speeds, say around 70 miles an hour, we in full EV mode, it uses a motor generator as well as the motor and balances those two on a planetary gear set to be able to reduce the overall RPM that the motors run, and that significantly increases the range and efficiency of the operation in full EV mode. Once you're down to like 20% state of charge in the battery, you switch over to extended range mode. At low speed, basically you fire up the engine and you're able to just run the traction motor. So the battery as well as the traction motor will provide energy to that one motor. If you get to real high speed, again, just like I said before, but this time in extended range, we take one side of the planetary from the traction motor, the other side from the motor generator slash, I guess you'd call engine leg of it. And then you balance those two off so that you can supply motive force to the wheel. If you don't have the traction motor working, I don't care what you do with that engine, you are not going 1 inch. The thing will not run on the engine alone.
Guys, we got time for one more question, then I got to get them upstairs. Any last questions? Okay.
Overall, are you happy with the response you've gotten this week with all the articles written about the Volt?
I'm very happy that there's so much interest and enthusiasm. We really feel that early on, when we first announced this, people kind of referred to it as a moonshot. Like, where's your battery? How are you going to make this happen? How can you commit to this? But in fact, through our efforts and the efforts of a lot of great suppliers and whatnot, we are here today and we're ready to launch, and we couldn't be more pleased with the performance of our vehicle.
Okay.